My fiancée said she felt suffocated by my love languages, especially the handwritten letters I left before work. She shared them in a group chat called Cringe folder. Her friends mocked them. Is this the beta clown you're gonna marry? So I printed every letter and mailed them to her parents. Her dad called me crying. Now she's left 53 messages. I'm trying to find the right words to start this. Ironic, considering writing words is what got me into this mess in the first place. I'll just dive in. I, 34M, was engaged to Ava, 31F, for 14 months. We'd been together for almost 4 years total. Met at a friend's wedding. I was a groomsman, she was the bride's cousin. We clicked instantly. Same dark humor, both career-focused but wanting family eventually. Similar values, or so I thought. I'm a structural engineer, she's in pharmaceutical sales. A bit about me. My parents have been married 42 years. Growing up, I watched my dad leave little notes in my mom's lunch every day. He'd write jokes, memories, sometimes just, "I love you." Mom kept every single one in a box. When Dad had his stroke 5 years ago and couldn't speak for months, Mom would read those notes to him during recovery. The doctors said it helped. Familiar emotional connections, rebuilding neural pathways or something. Anyway, it stuck with me. I'm not naturally demonstrative with my feelings. Engineering brain, I'm logical, sometimes too blunt. But I make an effort because I've seen what thoughtful gestures mean long term. So when things got serious with Ava, I started leaving her notes. Nothing elaborate, just a few lines on her desk before I left for work. I start earlier than she does. Sometimes reflections on our relationship, inside jokes, plans for the future, occasionally a quick sketch. I'm not particularly artistic, but I try. Honestly, she seemed to love them. Would text me mid-morning saying a note made her day. She even bought a small decorative box last year, said she was saving them like my mom did. We got engaged last spring, set a date for this coming October. Then about 3 months ago, things started feeling off. Ava became distant, critical of small things. I asked several times if something was wrong, if I'd done something. She'd say everything was fine, just stressed about work. I believed her. I tried being extra supportive, took over more chores, suggested weekend getaways, kept writing my notes but made them more encouraging, less romantic, thinking maybe the pressure of wedding planning was getting to her. 2 weeks ago, I had a morning site visit across town. Realized halfway there I'd forgotten my tablet with the structural plans. Swung back home to grab it. Ava's car was still there, which was odd. She should have left for work already. I found her in the kitchen, still in pajamas, on a video call with her 3 closest friends. Her back was to me, so she didn't notice me at first. I was about to announce myself when I heard my name. "And James left another one of his pathetic little love letters this morning," she was saying, holding up today's note. "Listen to this garbage. Counting down the days until you're my wife. You make even ordinary Tuesdays extraordinary. Who talks like this? I'm literally suffocating from the neediness." Her friends were laughing. One said, "Oh my God, read the one from yesterday again, that was worse." Ava reached into a desk drawer, not the decorative box she'd bought, just stuffed in with office supplies, and pulled out another note. "Sometimes I watch you sleeping and think about how lucky I am to have found someone so beautiful inside and out. Seriously, who watches people sleep? It's creepy as hell." Another friend chimed in, "Is this really the beta clown you're gonna marry? Girl, you can do better than some simp who writes you middle school love notes." I stood frozen as Ava laughed. I know, but he's stable, has a good job, and my parents love him. I just need him to stop with this emotional bullshit. I've been accidentally throwing them away or saying I'm too busy to read them, but he keeps writing them." "Have you tried just telling him they're cringe?" Another friend asked. "Not yet. I'm working up to it. Just need to get through the wedding first, then I can start training him out of these habits, marriage, changing people, and all that." One friend snorted. "Well, at least add these to the cringe folder. This shit's too good." Then I saw Ava taking pictures of my notes with her phone, and I heard the notification sound of them being sent in a group chat. I must have made a noise, because Ava suddenly turned. Her face went from laughing to shock in an instant. "James, what are you? I thought you had a site visit." I just stood there, tablet forgotten. "The cringe folder?" Her friends on the screen went quiet. One by one, they made excuses and disconnected until it was just us. Ava tried damage control immediately. It's not what it sounds like. We were just joking around. I heard everything, Ava. Training me out of these habits? Beat a clown? They're not my words. That's just how my friends talk. You were laughing. You called my notes pathetic and garbage. She switched tactics, going from defensive to annoyed. Well, they kind of are, James. It's suffocating. Every single day. Who has the energy for that level of performative affection? It's just not realistic. Performative. The word hit like a slap. 4 years and you think I'm performing. Oh, come on. Nobody's genuinely like this. You're trying too hard because of your parents or whatever. It's sweet, I guess, but it's not normal, James. I said nothing, just walked past her, went to our bedroom, and sat on the edge of the bed. She followed, now trying to minimize. Look, it's not a big deal. I still love you. I just don't need all this to prove it. Can we just move past this? I remember looking up at her and feeling nothing. No anger, no pain, just emptiness. Did you ever actually like the notes? Any of them? Or was that all lies too? She hesitated just a second too long. Of course I don't. Just don't. I stood up, grabbed my tablet and walked out. Went to my site visit, somehow functioned through the day, didn't answer her increasingly frantic texts. Checked into a hotel that night, told her I needed space to think. The next 3 days were a blur. Ava alternated between apologizing profusely and telling me I was overreacting to just a little girl talk. Her friends sent apologetic texts, obviously prompted by her. I responded to none of it. What I did do was think a lot about our whole relationship, wondering what else had been an act. About the parents she said loved me, who'd welcomed me into their family. About the decorative box she'd bought specifically for notes she actually despised. The 4th day I took action. I went to our apartment while she was at work and packed my essential belongings. Then I spent an hour going through my sent emails, where I kept digital copies of every note I'd written her. Call it engineering brain. I don't trust paper records alone. There were 317 notes over 3 years. I printed them all. Then I wrote one new letter to her parents. I explained exactly what had happened, what Ava had said, included screenshots of the text exchanges where she wavered between apology and blame. I didn't embellish or manipulate, just presented the facts. I packaged everything up, the 317 notes, my letter, and a USB drive with a screen recording of me going through my email archives to prove I hadn't fabricated anything, and shipped it overnight to her parents' house 2 states away. Then I blocked Ava on everything. Packed the rest of my stuff from our apartment over the weekend while she was at her sister's. Her texts indicated this before I blocked her. Left my tea and ring on the counter and moved in temporarily with my buddy Mike. 3 days later, on a Tuesday night, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Ava's dad, Robert. His voice was thick like he'd been crying. James, it's Robert. We got your package. Silence for a moment. I don't know what to say, son. Those letters, I read every single one of them. So did Patricia. He paused, struggling. We raised her better than this. I don't understand. I'd always liked Robert. Retired military, not overly emotional, but a fundamentally decent man. The kind who taught his daughter to change her own tires and coached her softball team. Hearing him this broken hurt worse than anything Ava had done. Neither do I, sir. Patricia hasn't stopped crying. Those letters reminded us of when we were young. I used to write notes to her too, not as well as yours, but... He trailed off. We're so sorry, James. We truly thought of you as our son already. We talked for nearly an hour. He told me they'd confronted Ava, showed her what I'd sent. According to him, she'd tried the same minimizing tactics at first, then broke down when they made her read some of the notes aloud to them. Apparently, she'd called me right after, only to find herself blocked. I thanked him for calling, for being honest. Told him I'd always respect him and Patricia, but that there was no way forward with Ava. He understood. That was 2 weeks ago. I've since signed a lease on a new apartment, officially canceled my half of the wedding arrangements, and informed close friends and family that the engagement is off. I've kept the explanation simple. Fundamental incompatibility. To most people. Those closest to me know the full story. Ava found my new number somehow. 53 messages in the past week, according to my phone's block list counter. I haven't read any of them, but the previews range from desperate apologies to accusations that I've destroyed her relationship with her parents. Apparently, Robert and Patricia are still deeply upset with her, have canceled their contribution to the wedding, and are insisting she get therapy to figure out why she'd treat someone this way. Through mutual friends, I've heard various things. That Ava's friends have distanced themselves, embarrassed to be associated with the Cringe folder, now that it's known. That she's claiming I doctored evidence to turn her parents against her. That she's telling some people I was controlling and others that I was emotionally absent, depending on which narrative gets her more sympathy. I haven't responded to any of it. There's no satisfaction in her suffering, honestly. Just sadness for what I thought we had, and relief that I discovered the truth before we married. My mom asked if I regret writing all those notes. I don't. They were genuine, even if the recipient wasn't. Dad suggested I start journaling instead. Same outlet, no risk of mockery. Maybe someday. For now, I'm focusing on my work, spending time with friends who've been unbelievably supportive, and reminding myself that authenticity isn't something to be ashamed of, even if it made me a beta clown to someone who never deserved those words in the first place. The decorative box she bought for the notes? It was on the counter when I moved my things out. Empty. I don't know if she threw the physical notes away or never kept them to begin with. Either way, I left it there. Some containers aren't worth filling. Update, 1 week later. A lot of comments asking for an update, so here's where things stand. I've settled into my new apartment. It's smaller but closer to my office, and the fresh start feels right. I splurged on new furniture instead of taking anything from the place I shared with Ava. Something about starting clean. The messages from Ava finally stopped 3 days ago. The last one, which I saw in preview before deleting, said simply, "I know you'll never forgive me, but I need you to know I'm getting help. I'll always regret what I lost." Robert called again yesterday. We talked for about 20 minutes, mostly about neutral topics like the playoff games and a bridge project I'm working on. Before hanging up, he said something that stuck with me. A man's character is measured by how he acts when he thinks no one is looking. Your notes, you thought I'd never see them, but they showed me exactly who you are. Remember that. Several people have asked if I've put myself out there again. The answer is no, not yet. But last weekend I did something I haven't done in years. Went to a poetry reading with my colleague Elise. Not a date, just two friends appreciating words. It felt good to reclaim that part of myself. The most unexpected outcome of all this has been reconnecting with my creative side. After the poetry reading, I started writing again. Not notes to anyone, just observations, reflections. My therapist calls it reclaiming my voice. It helps. As for the wedding vendors, most were understanding. Lost some deposits, but one caterer was so moved by the situation, apparently his ex-wife had done something similar, that he refunded everything and sent a bottle of whiskey with a note saying simply, "Her loss." Healing isn't linear. Some days I'm angry, some days just sad. Mostly, though, I'm grateful for the bullet dodged, for friends who've rallied around me, and strangely for those 3 and 17 letters. They weren't wasted after all. They showed Ava's parents who their daughter really is, and they reminded me who I really am. And that's worth more than I can say.